Don't lie, we all have that one white friend who's a little too obsessed with Black Panther. Yeah, we're talking about you. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going over something that is very special to me and very special to a lot of people, especially here where I'm from. If you just watched Sinners and you want to know more about Ryan Coogler's movies, well, I'm here to tell you that today we're going to be breaking down every single Ryan Coogler film in order. Now, with that being said, we're not going to include his short films or projects he's produced or has other credits in. If you want that, well, you just saw the list that I put on the screen. But this video right here is in fact for my film homies out there who love everything he does, love everything film related. But on top of everything we're going to go over today, we have to answer the question, is Sinners Ryan Coogler's best movie? Let's find out. The film is a powerful drama based on the real story of Oscar Grant, a young black man who was fatally shot by a BART police officer in Oakland, California on New Year's Day 2009. Now, while we know this already, the film in fact follows the final 24 hours of Grant's life. Pros. Fruitvale Station obviously did a lot for the community. You know, it showed awareness about what was going on in cities like Oakland and, you know, the Bay Area and things like that. And for it to be his first film says a lot about him as a character, because damn, this shit hits. It is a deeply emotional and empathetic story. And obviously we can't say that without the hit performance that is Michael B. Jordan in this film, because holy fucking shit, he's young in this, but Jesus is he's good. He gives such an incredible performance, and it has such a tight, raw, emotional feel to this film that really shows what Ryan Coogler is capable of. And obviously we're going to see a lot more of this down the line, but goddamn, he's really good at creating humanity and showing what humanity is really like, whether it be for something good or bad. This film is just so raw and down to earth. You can't help but not feel sad over the events of the story. This is such a socially relevant topic, right? You know, things like this are still going on in the world, and it kind of fucking sucks that this story, right, can still be applied to today's standards, right? There's so many instances of things like this happening. I mean, fuck, like, you know, not to be morbid or anything, but I was on that same train a couple weeks ago and somebody got ran over. So, you know, it's pretty bad. In terms of cons for this movie though, the pacing is definitely not for everybody. This is a very slow and dramatic film, and if you're not a fan of that, you're not gonna like this story. Like we've mentioned, this film is incredibly sad. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not something you can just throw in on the background. Like, this is something that you really need to give your fullest attention to because it deserves that. But with that being said though, it's a great first step for Ryan Coogler. Like we established, the fact that this is his first film says a lot about him, and of course this led him down a path where he would direct his next film. A reboot/sequel to the Rocky franchise, Creed follows Adonis Creed, the affair son of Apollo Creed, as he trains to become a professional boxer under the mentorship of the legendary Rocky Balboa. Now, this film is not going to leave you empty, but it will leave you a little bit emotional. In terms of pros for the franchise, it's obviously a fresh new take on Rocky and the Rocky world. You know, those Rocky films are very much of their era, but what Creed does different is that it brings it into a modern society, a modern world, and it does it so well while still paying homage to what makes the Rocky films so great. And of course, we can't deny the phenomenal chemistry between Michael B. Jordan. Obviously, look, Michael B. Jordan is the GOAT. We know this. He gives another incredible performance. And Sylvester Stallone. At his tender age, the two have this phenomenal father-son relationship, and it goes far, and like I said, it's gonna leave you emotional, bruh. And even at this later stage in Rocky's life, there's still a lot of development from this character. There's still a lot of story left to tell from him, and I love how the film approaches that through the lens of somebody who's a lot younger and this new generation, and the way Rocky has to handle this new era of boxing. And finally, we can't go without saying that the boxing in this film is some of the best boxing we've seen in a while. Ryan Coogler does this beautiful, beautiful camera work in the movie that, well, we'll see down the line, but he jump-started the gun and it just looks so great. In terms of the cons though, like any other sports drama, it can tend to be a little bit formulaic. You know, you have your A plot, your B plot, a character, protagonist falls in love with this character, so on and so forth, right? You know, beats we see all the time. Being the first film after the Rocky franchise, it was definitely a lot harder to escape Rocky's shadow. As we know by Creed 3, Creed is his own. Creed as a franchise is now fully fledged. It's in its own stage. It's in its own world now. But with this first film, you know, a lot of the pull was coming for Rocky. You went to see the movie because of Rocky. Also, the film was not actually that big for Ryan. And of course, he would later then go work on with Creed 2 and Creed 3. But where things really took off for his career were with his next film. After the death of his father in Captain America Civil War, T'Challa returns to the African nation of Wakanda to take his rightful place as king, only to be challenged by Killmonger, yet again played by Michael B. Jordan, the GOAT, a figure from the nation's dark past. It's a superhero film that blends Afrofuturism, politics, and family drama. Obviously, this was immensely powerful. You know, this is one of those films where you just kind of had to be there to experience it. It's like The Force Awakens or Avengers Endgame. Like, you just had to be there, right? And this is one of those films. Obviously, in terms of pros for this film, while it didn't do anything that we haven't ever seen in media before, what it represents to the people, to the community, is great. You know, the cultural impact, the representation is powerful, it's rich. And of course, that can't go without being said, the world building in this film is so splendid. There is so much attention to detail. It feels like a real place that could exist in the world. And of course, we can't go without talking about the phenomenal performances. Obviously, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, but man, does he give a great performance. He is truly a king on and off screen, and his dynamic with Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger is some of the best we've seen. And nice little detail, I don't know if you noticed, but the song at the end of Sinners, the last time, you could interpret it that it's a reference to the end of Black Panther, where Killmonger and T'Challa are looking at the sun for the last time. It's just great stuff. I love the performance. Now, in terms of cons, though, obviously there is that final battle that okay, you know what? I'm gonna defend Coogler here. That wasn't him. That was all previs. Basically, Marvel already made that scene, but he just kind of had to use it in the film. You know, obviously, it also has its Marvelisms in the film that people don't like. So Black Panther. What did Ryan Coogler do next? Well, of course, he had to do the sequel. In the wake of King T'Challa's death, the leaders of Wakanda fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers and the new aquatic threat led by Namor, or Namor as they call him in the movie. It's a story about grief, legacy, and resilience. Now, by MCU standards, this film has definitely been overhated. Let's be for real here. I don't know, post-Endgame has been a rough time for us fans, but this film really got a lot of shit when it shouldn't have. But by normal movie standards, I think it's an incredible sequel while still expanding the lore and love from the first film, right? Obviously, they added this new culture in that of Namor and his people. Obviously, you know, an homage to Aztec culture, which is so beautiful. I think the biggest pro that it has going for it is its honor to Chadwick Boseman. Obviously, he as a person, he as a character, his presence, you can feel it. You can really feel it. And I love what this film did with him and the way they treated him. And because of that, obviously other characters had to step up, like Angela Bassett and Letitia Wright. And Jesus Christ, did they kill it. That Angela Bassett speech, the fact that it was not an Oscar nominated, is the biggest fucking snub ever. The world building just continues to get better and better. The underwater stuff is great, and the bold political themes of colonialism and survival is also really, really strong in this film. But in terms of cons, though, oh man, the runtime, it's a little bloated, man. This film is about 20 minutes too long. And some of the subplots were definitely underdeveloped. And of course, some of the action sequences, like the first film, are not the greatest. But now we've made it to Ryan Coogler's latest, greatest, and arguably best work. That's right. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers Smoke and Stack return to their Mississippi hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is awaiting them. In terms of pros, man, what can I say about this film that hasn't already been said? Its attention to history, culture, and tales of the past with this mix of vampires is one of the most badass things a director can do. The genre blending, incredible, right? if you thought Ryan Coogler's other films were good, you need to watch Sinners. This is not just a masterpiece, it's his magnum opus. This film deals with real life struggles in Mississippi in the 1930s and showcases a story about people and the hate that follows, right? With untold stories like the Asian Americans in the area and the relationship between black people and Irish people, things that we rarely get to see in the light of day, let alone film. But obviously, you already know that. I'm not here to tell you to go watch Sinners because you probably already have. I'm here to tell you how great the film is, right? Plus, we have vampires in it. This is the Blade movie before the actual Blade movie. It's just something special overall. What are the cons though? The film ended. I really wish I had more to say about you. But the one possible con I do hope I don't have to bring up is I hope we never get a sequel to this film. Because this is a moment in time. This is one of those films that doesn't need to be a franchise. This is one of those films that doesn't need a sequel. It's a moment in time. It's a film that you go and watch and you appreciate it as you watch it. And let's keep it at that because it'll just make it all the more special to everybody. Ryan Coogler, through this film, has established himself to be one of the greatest directors of our generation. Right? You go to see Oppenheimer not because Cillian Murphy's in it, but because Christopher Nolan directed it. And going forward, you're going to go see Ryan Coogler's films not because Michael B. Jordan's in it, but because Ryan Coogler directed it. So, all in all, that was an overview of all of Ryan Coogler's films. As you can see, this man never misses. As a filmmaker who also lives in the Bay Area, is from the Bay Area, grew up here, right? He's obviously very special to me. I've looked up to him for a very long time, and I continue to look up to him. But I just love his attention to the people, the culture, right? And his ability to showcase that in films. But enough of that. You don't want to hear that from me. You want to hear the answer to the final question. Is Sinners Ryan Coogler's best film? And I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's actually a Minecraft movie. You're confused, right? Good. Well, what's the main villain of Sinners? Vampires. What happens to them during the day? They burn. Why? Because they're mobs. Just like what? The Minecraft movie. Directed by who? Jared Hess, who's a filmmaker. Ryan Coogler's also a filmmaker. Therefore, Ryan Coogler made the Minecraft movie. But, of course, if you enjoyed this type of video or you want to see more videos like this, please let me know down in the comments below. Obviously, this is pretty different to the type of content I make nowadays, but it's greatly appreciated. I love the criticism, and I just hope you enjoy this video. And, of course, thank you, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch me talk about Michael B. Jordan. Again, and finally, again. Until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.